Had its good and bad sides for both sides. Both sides won some. I think more plays were made on each side because the other side didn't execute but that's kind of typical for right now, this time of spring. But they had some good things. Put the quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks rotated evenly all day long. Each had their chances with ones, twos, 8 different situations. Guys did some nice things, but we got a long way to go. Some of the young backs, some of the backs did okay defensively. Had some really good moments at times. Other times gave up a couple big plays at times, but that's from the other sides making plays. Both teams were very competitive. Look at the film to judge. It's hard to when you're going that fast. The one thing that really stood out to me, I thought Roberto kicked the ball unbelievably well today. I mean, was killing field goals. I mean, from long distances, ranges. We put him in situations, and in scrimmage, we'd put him in there and do it. I was very proud of him. I thought Kaysen Beatty, our punt team, did a real nice job on the day. As far as our assignments and Kaysen hitting the ball where he was supposed to with good hang time and good depth. So I'm very pleased with those two guys. The rest of them will wait till we see the film to make a judgment. Questions?
Jimbo, do you put in the scrimmage format when it comes to quarterbacks, is there any more weight to this format compared to watching film and practice?
No, I mean it's all, but it is because you ain't out there with the coach. As far as you got to go out there and do it on your own, and it's still live in the stadium. So I mean, there's I say there's much more, but it kind of confirms some things I've been seeing in practice, which is I'm not unhappy at all. I think we made a lot of progress, made some really good plays. Need to be more consistent, but I kind of imagine that right now, just from where we're at. But had some nice plays at times in the game.
So in terms of game management, you see more in this.
Exactly right. A little bit more because we're not back there as much. You know what I'm saying? But from the other standpoint, I mean, it's still you can judge a lot from practice, but you still like to see them come out here and do it in a scrimmage type situation when they have to do something.
I know you haven't looked at the film. Any standouts on defense? Any players jump out at you?
No, that's funny. Not really. I thought Joyner flashed a couple times in the nickel situations, playing corner, made a nice stop on a short yardage from that standpoint. But it's hard to see unless they just really flash. No one in particular. But we'll watch the film. Maybe somebody did more than we saw. But offensively, I didn't think anybody just jumped out at me offensively either. But good competition, both sides making plays.
You noticed the line doing a little better? I mean, obviously these guys are
I tell you, short yards goal line was well. Short yards goal line offense played really well. I thought we did well in those opportunities. We put them in some tough things. We did move the pocket a lot. Wanted to see pass blocking, wanted to see us, and wanted to see quarterback set in the pocket versus a lot of blitzes. Put them in a lot of tough scenarios where 3rd and long and people's coming at them, making them stay in the pocket and making the line have to block to put some tough situations on. So could have moved the pocket more if you were actually calling the game and doing some things, but wanted to do that deliberately to make them do that. So put them in some tough scenarios too from that standpoint, the offensive line.
Is Austin Brown okay?
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's got strained back. He didn't do anything today, though. He'll be back another day or so. He strained his back, got a lower back problem, and I think he said another day or so he'll be fine.
Was that good to get more reps even in that sense for Bobby Hart and then also?
Well, no, what Bobby was going to do, I thought, Bobby, I didn't see Bobby that bad at all. I thought he had a nice day. I thought Bobby had a real nice day today. But I'll look at it and see. Again, there's some things I know he had to miss. There was a couple protections over there, but he didn't jump out at me as glaringly doing anything wrong either, which is usually offensive lineman. That's where you notice him first. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see any of those situations.
Defense as a whole, in terms of the scheme,
it's a lot more, much more
plays, possibly,
but much more multiple. I mean, much greater looks would develop your offense and your quarterbacks in a lot different deal because of blitzes and scenarios and fronts and coverages. I mean, a lot of new things, which are very good because that allows you to prepare and see them every day in practice. You feel comfortable with them. But a lot different looks. And I mean, they did some really nice things. Now, at times they played really well. I mean, I'm saying that, but you move 2s and 1s, you move people around. We're playing games with people, trying to experiment with different groups of people. But I thought they had a nice day for the most part, though.
You talked about Kaysen and Roberto kicking. I mean, have they been showing that in practice?
Yes, every day. No, I think they've been kicking it really well. I thought they've been kicking it really well and come out here and did a real nice job.
You've obviously got a lot of depth at defensive tackle. Do you have enough? We talk about a second team or third team like the offensive line to match up with it.
It makes it tougher. Because you get 3 or 4 of the second team line, you get a couple guys that probably aren't ready for that scenario. But it's good to put them in there and find out. But from that standpoint, it makes it a little tougher.
And then you expect Clinton, I assume Jacob, to be able to handle being without you guys. You talked about the quick.
All of them. Jameis handled very all big time. Jameis handled being away from us very much too. Jake does a good job. Jake, all of them. But even Sean had a couple really nice throws in the scrimmage. I was very pleased with him. But they all handle being away pretty good. Jameis just as well as the other two in that regard.
Obviously, you're not in any timetable to make a decision on that yet, but
I ain't even close. Don't even know.
I'm not
Just in the conversation.
Would you like if there was a game tomorrow? Would you be comfortable with any of them getting into that environment? I mean, have they
I
shown you
refuse
enough
the question. Next question.
Coach, what are some things that you look for in a scrimmage besides the decision making that you can't see on the practice field?
When you have adversity, how do you respond back the next play? How do you affect your guys? The presence in the huddle, the command. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things that go on, and then the consistency in which you're able to respond. Even when you do something good, I like to watch them when they do something good too. Not just bad, because they're used to you get on them and they move on and they get fired up. But when they do something good, that's the thing we don't talk about enough. Is when a guy does something good, can he keep going good? You know what I mean? Sometimes that's harder than bouncing back from something bad, because then all we think you do something and you just keep playing, and then you think, oh, I got to do more and more, and you press sometimes when you do well even more than when you do bad. And sometimes you got to learn to have success. If you just stay true to what you're supposed to read and do, it's successful.
Was Colin Blake out today?
Yeah, oh yeah, he was out there.
Oh,
He played.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You talked in the past with like EJ or Christian about like putting them in positions where it's almost
impossible.
Yeah,
exactly.
Are you taking it slower with these guys?
A little bit, but a couple of them, they had some tough situations. They put themselves in some tough situations too, so I wanted to see how they responded. And sometimes it's not just always making a play, but are they going to get you beat? You know what I mean? Make a mistake that loses the game too, from that standpoint. But they were in some tough scenarios today. They really were. We had a lot of third and long situations. We put them in on purpose. I mean, third and short, then we go third and long. Really go from something that's makeable, manageable. Now it's something it's. I mean, you're going to get 1 out of every 6 most of the time in a game against good people, and see how they dealt with that.
How's Eddie Goldman look so far this
Good. And Eddie banged his neck up Saturday a little bit and came right back. I was proud of him coming back out scrimmage today. Just got a little stinger. They checked him out. He was fine. Responded right back and got right back in the scrimmage today. I didn't know if he'd go today. He jumped right back in. Did a real nice job.
Were you able to see something out of your rotation with Pender?
I mean, Pender had some really nice moments. He can run, but he just got to get consistent. He'll get tired, and I think he put one ball on the ground on a handoff. We got to look and see where that came from. But he didn't have anything else there. But just in it's more consistent. Most of his pass pros were good, a route or two. But when you get that ball to him, but he's learning to be more and more consistent. I thought Freeman had caught some nice hot routes out of the backfield and caught the ball well. Wilder had a decent day. Dropped a bit. I think he made a drop in a 2-minute drill there that shocked me, because he usually catches the ball really well. But from that standpoint,
so Nick and Darby, I guess, walking around without crutches on. Those guys that haven't been around, are they progressing?
Oh, very well. And just why you've seen them out there run around the field. You know what I mean? Who else caught? Tight ends caught quite a few balls today. I was pleased with them. They made some real nice plays in the game. They just made me think of that when you said Nick. I was thinking, Larry flashed in my head when you said that. But they caught a few balls. But yeah, those guys are all progressing, and that's why you're seeing them train along the sidelines. And hopefully by the end of April or so, they'll pretty much be back in the swing of things.